All right, Partisan Pulse Nation, strap in, because what you're about to see isn't just a breakdown of current events, it's a flashback, a chilling echo of history that should make every single one of us question everything we're being told. The drums of war are beating, but the tune, it's completely off key. Let's expose it.
U.S. officials and lawmakers with access to classified information, along with experts who have spent their careers poring over public data and government reports, say the administration's assertions are incomplete, unsubstantiated, or flat out wrong.
Incomplete, unsubstantiated, or flat out wrong. That's not just an opinion, folks. That's documented. When the Wall Street Journal, a publication not known for challenging the establishment, quotes intelligence officials saying the administration's war claims are baseless, we have to listen. They told us it was about nukes, then ballistic missiles, then proxy groups, a moving target. But the evidence, the cold, hard facts, simply aren't there. This isn't a complex geopolitical chess match. It's a shell game with American lives. This isn't a policy disagreement. This is a fundamental challenge to the credibility of those leading us into conflict. When their initial assertions are deemed incomplete, unsubstantiated, or flat out wrong by those who know best, it demands an immediate, forceful pushback. We've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends if we don't call it out.
Destroying Iran's entire navy, that's now been added to the mix, and ending Iran's quote unquote 47-year war against the US.
Wait, what? A 47-year war against the US? And we're just hearing about it now? This isn't just a shifting narrative. It's historical revisionism on the fly. That's not how that works. You don't discover a 47-year war the week you decide to start a new one. And destroying Iran's entire navy? Or knocking out all their roadside bombs? Are these measurable goals? No, they're vague, impossible to prove missions designed to keep the war machine churning indefinitely. It's a blank check for endless conflict. This is policy misrepresentation at its most brazen. If this kind of breakdown matters to you, this is exactly what we do here. We cut through the noise, we expose the contradictions, and we demand accountability. Because when the reasons for war change faster than the news cycle, you know you're being played. This isn't about national security. It's about a desperate search for a convincing reason that simply doesn't exist.
Assessments. Recent US intelligence assessments had concluded that Iran couldn't develop dozens of missiles for at least a decade.
For at least a decade. Let that sink in. Not next week, not next month, but a decade. This isn't some analyst's guess. This is what recent US intelligence assessments concluded. So, if they couldn't develop dozens of missiles for at least 10 years, where is the imminent threat? Where is the minute away from a nuclear weapon panic they were trying to instill? That's documented. The Wall Street Journal, again, a publication not exactly known for its anti-war leanings, is tearing holes in the administration's primary justifications. This isn't a minor detail. It's the entire premise of the war being dismantled by verifiable facts. This is a direct assault on institutional credibility. When the intelligence community, the very bedrock of our national security, is being contradicted by the rhetoric of war hawks, it's a crisis of trust. It means the public is being fed a narrative that directly conflicts with the facts known to our own government. And that's a dangerous game to play with national security and the lives of our troops.
The script itself is identical, as you know well, and as I know well, and anybody who lived through that period and paid a lot of attention to it or wrote about it or studied it or reported on it knows well as well. It's shocking that they're not even bothering to change it, even like as a pretense, even trivially.
Yeah.
The script is identical. That's on the record. It's a playbook dusted off and reused almost verbatim from the lies that led us into Iraq. And what's truly infuriating is the corporate media, the very institutions that should be holding power accountable, are playing right along. They claim to hate Trump, yet the moment he bombs a country, they laud him as presidential. This isn't about partisanship. It's about profit and power. War boosts ratings, war makes journalists feel important, and war aligns them with the national security establishment. They become conduits for propaganda, not watchdogs for the public. They exclude dissent, they amplify the war hawks, and they create a monoculture of opinion that stifles any real debate. That's not how that works. A free press isn't supposed to be a stenographer for the Pentagon. It's supposed to challenge, to investigate, to question. When they recycle the same tired justifications, the same vague threats, without even bothering to change the language, it exposes a cynical manipulation of the American public, and it risks plunging us into another catastrophic conflict based on manufactured consent.
But he said that at one point in that press conference there, that Iran is at its weakest point now, and that's why it was good to attack. But wait, Glenn, we were told that Iran was so close to attacking and they were at their maximum power and we had to go right away. But now, wait a minute, all of a sudden they're at their weakest? So which one is it?
Which one is it indeed? This is not just a gaffe. This is a fundamental contradiction that unravels the entire justification. First, we're told Iran is an immediate maximum threat, just a minute away from attacking us, requiring urgent action. Now, Marco Rubio, a key voice in this push for war, is telling us they're at their weakest point. Wait, what? You can't have it both ways. Either they are an existential, imminent threat, or they are weak and vulnerable. The rapid pivot from imminent danger to target of opportunity exposes the cynical opportunism driving this agenda. It reveals that the threat assessment isn't based on intelligence, it's based on political expediency. That's on the record. This isn't a secret conversation, it's a public statement that directly undermines everything they've been telling us. The national stakes here are immense. We are talking about committing American lives, American treasure, and American credibility to a conflict based on a constantly shifting, contradictory narrative. This isn't about protecting America. It's about pushing an agenda, regardless of the truth and regardless of the cost to our nation.
Why are our soldiers dying for that?
Yeah, literally the only way that their ballistic missiles could hit us is if we start a war with them. So why did we start a war? So we could get hit? That makes no sense at all. The only way it makes sense is if you're doing this war for Israel. That is absolutely right.
The only way it makes sense is if you're doing this war for Israel. That's the brutal, undeniable truth that they desperately try to conceal. When the official narrative collapses, when the justifications contradict themselves, the real agenda emerges. Ballistic missiles that can't reach the US, but are a threat to a regional ally. This isn't protecting American soil. This is sacrificing American lives for foreign interests. That's measurable. The resources, the lives, the diplomatic capital, all being expended for a conflict that has no clear benefit to the American people. We were promised an America First foreign policy, an end to endless wars. Instead, we're witnessing the exact opposite, a war based on manufactured threats, shifting justifications, and benefiting interests far from our own borders. This is the ultimate institutional credibility risk. When the government lies about the reasons for war, when it sacrifices its own citizens for external agendas, it erodes the very foundation of trust. The question isn't just why are we at war, but for whom are we fighting? And the answer increasingly is not for America. The pattern is clear, the lies are exposed, and the stakes couldn't be higher. We deserve leaders who tell us the truth, who prioritize American lives and American interests above all else. If they can't even agree on why we're fighting, then we have every right to demand they stop. The truth is out there, and we will keep exposing it. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never stop questioning. This is Partisan Pulse, and we'll see you next time.